Hello, world. The following is a conversation with Josh Forshey, better known as the artist Forshé Tattoos. Josh grew up in DeSoto, Kansas, and decided he was going to be an artist as a young man. This journey would take him to community college, then experimenting with the tattoo gun on some friends. This is a hilarious part of the episode. Josh would travel all around Kansas City to pursue his dream of becoming a legitimate tattoo artist. Fast forward some years, his drive and passion would lead to his business, the Kansas City Tattoo Club, filled with some of the most gifted tattoo artists Kansas City has to offer. Josh is cultivating a must-have tattoo experience for anybody wanting a tattoo in Kansas City. Incredible talent, incredible story, incredible dude, if we must say so ourselves. This is Enterrupt KC. Enjoy this episode.
Welcome back to Enterrupt KC, the podcast, you know what it is, dedicated to people, places, and things right here in Kansas City. My man JL, D-Rod right here, man.
Let's go, man. What is up, D-Rod?
Man, well, I said it just before we started, but man, I'm feeling pretty good, man.
Good,
I'm feeling pretty good.
Well,
I had a great night last night.
Yeah. Well, I hope this makes you feel even better.
It does, man. Along with some of this quality fine H2O.
H2O, yeah. We don't always drink. Everybody, they're always drinking. No, we don't always drink.
I think somebody told me one time, like, do you guys like really drink at 9 a.m? And I mean, there's been times.
Water, coffee, maybe some alcohol.
Maybe some alcohol.
Maybe some mimosas, some. Man, real quick, D-Rod, we do have a great guest today.
Oh, yeah.
I always want to take a minute or two to remind everybody to go check out our last couple guests.
Yeah.
Michael Garozzo was the last episode.
Phenomenal.
We had Eddie Cupini. We had Christian Andaraos, KC Comments,
Right.
Got to go check out those episodes.
Great
available on
conversation.
YouTube, all podcast platforms. Go check them out. Great conversations.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, man, I wanted to do just real briefly is because by the time this great episode comes out, we will already have announced, but we'll announce it here again.
Yeah.
D-Rod and I, Enterrupt KC, is going to be at Guadalupe Center, Cinco de Mayo, all weekend at the Fiesta.
All weekend.
They have a huge lineup of artists, talent, vendors, everything coming up here, right here on the west side, D-Rod.
Yeah, right there on 23rd Street, a.k.a. Cesar Chavez Boulevard.
Yes, sir. So come find us, come interact with us, come have fun with us.
Yeah, man.
Come Enterrupt KC with us.
Come get us and find us, and let's have a good time. Let's talk some shit.
Yes, sir, man. But with that, man, I think we need to interrupt our guest, D-Rod.
Absolutely, man. This is pretty dope, man.
I'm so hyped.
This guy
So
does some incredible art
yes,
pieces.
sir.
Man.
And by interrupt, Josh, we mean introduce KC. Introduce our guest. None other than the man himself. And he doesn't want to show off, but we're going to show him off today. Mr. Josh Forshey. What is up, brother?
What's up, Josh,
up,
man?
What's up? Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you for joining us, bro. Thank you for opening your spot for us, man.
Absolutely, dude. Everyone's welcome.
Tell everybody, man, where are we? What is the address here? How can people get here where we're at right now?
Yeah, man. We are on the corner of Southwest Boulevard and Broadway. 321 Southwest Boulevard, Kansas City Tattoo Club. Best shop in the city.
Let's go.
But we just got here a couple years ago, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool to be right around all the buzz and stuff, especially like First Fridays in the summer. It's so cool.
Oh,
Man, you're right here in the heart of it, man.
Yeah,
right
man,
here
it's crazy.
the
Boulevard and Broadway, man.
It's crazy too, because the lot across the street has I can't tell you how many car meets and stuff they got over there. So there's always something going on over there. It's really cool.
Not including those. Hello, world. Thanks for watching. Here is your chance to participate in the giveaway for this episode. All you have to do is click that subscribe button right there on YouTube. Follow Enterrupt KC on Facebook or Instagram. Comment on this episode post by answering the question, what types of portraits does Forshé avoid? Continue listening to find the answer. Good luck and thanks for participating.
Bomb ass hamburgers they got coming out of this joint. I might go grab me one right after
Man,
this.
look, I'm gonna get me a truck stop, bro.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. I parked D-Rod and I got out, and the first thing I smelled was
You
the
smelled
breakfast
it,
and the grease coming out. I was
Fire.
like,
Shit.
smells good.
Definitely a shop
Perk.
favorite. We really like this Lulu's behind.
Oh, Lulu's is fire,
Lulu's
too.
Fire.
Yeah,
Super
Lulu's
fire.
is fire, bro. Well, listen, Josh, man, thanks again. You know, what we're about, man, Enterrupt KC, bro. First thing we want to do is we always try to grab your story, man,
Yeah.
because behind you there's art. We've seen your socials, bro. You got art all over you, bro, you know. And so for us, man, it's about, like, telling Kansas City, where did this begin, man? Tell us about the origins of Josh Forshey, man.
You know what, man? I got 3 amazing, beautiful siblings, and they're all artists in some
Yeah.
form, you know.
The whole family is like
the whole
that?
family,
Mom and dad in it?
Yeah, mom and dad too. Like they're all. None of them are like physical artists, though. I would
Sure.
say they're all like really musically
Music.
talented. They're all insanely talented, especially musically. Like I was saying, my dad was in a band. He still is in bands and performing and stuff like that, which is really cool.
What's the name of the band, man? Give him a shout out.
I don't think he has a band right now.
Oh, okay,
I think
okay.
he's just doing like solo stuff.
Oh, got
but,
you.
But he
nice.
was in multiple bands.
Does he
got a-
write his own music, or?
Yeah, dude, he's amazing.
Really?
Amazing. But
Can we find any of his stuff anywhere?
He has a song called "Maybe This Time" with his old band called Tempest, Tempus.
Okay.
And they have a music video on YouTube. It's amazing.
what's up.
Really cool.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I remember when he
yeah.
showed us the video for it.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like he spent $1 million on this video, but it was sweet. But
Nice.
yeah, man. So like growing up, they're all doing that thing, and I was never. It just wasn't my thing. Like they're all really good singers. I'm
Right.
terrible. Dude. Like you do not want to hear me try and sing. But
Sing a tune.
so I ain't even gonna try, bro. You're gonna cringe. But yeah, man. So my thing was I just got into drawing, and
Yeah.
it was just kind of like my little thing. And I always tell people my first kind of foray into figuring out that whole world was when I was younger, and I like discovered YouTube. I
got
started
you.
doing. I would look up how to draw The Simpsons, and I loved The Simpsons.
Yes,
Like they were like
sir.
my favorite thing ever,
Right.
you know. And my original thing was I wanted to make like a show like that, like The Simpsons or South Park or
Got you.
know, Family Guy or any of those shows. I always thought
Like
those were so
cartoon?
cool. Yeah, cartoon stuff.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
I came up with I started drawing. Dude, I probably couldn't anymore, but at the time I could draw every character of The Simpsons from
No
memory,
shit.
like straight up.
Yeah.
And so I just, you know, that was my
About how-
introduction. Yeah. And my mom would like enter me into drawing competitions with like, I don't know if y'all know what 4-H is. It's like it's kind of more like a country type thing.
Okay.
A lot of it is like, I kind of come from out in the
I was
country
gonna say,
in
where
Kansas.
are you from? Like,
DeSoto, Kansas.
Oh, DeSoto.
yeah,
yeah.
kind of small little
Yeah,
town.
right, right.
That's not too far.
Johnson
Yeah, not
County?
too bad. Yeah, Johnson County. Yeah, it's probably 30 minutes from here.
Yeah.
But 4-H is like this thing where basically it's like Boy Scouts or something like that, but like co-ed.
Sure.
Like me and my siblings did it. But I would get entered. My mom had me do all the drawing stuff, which was like competitions and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I would draw all those, and I always just kind of drew and did whatever. And I started getting into the spray painting stuff. I wouldn't say really like full blown graffiti, but
Did you start the DeSoto graffiti scene out there?
you know what? I did do it in DeSoto a little bit, and it was like not the place, bro. I was the only one. But yeah, I did like spray paintings on. I don't know if y'all seen those. Like the Galaxy spray paintings where they use like pots and pans.
Oh,
to
yeah,
make,
yeah, yeah.
You know,
They
I would
make
do
the
those at
circles
home.
and- yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
I would do those at home, and so that kind of got me. I was just doing all kinds of art by
Right.
myself, you know, and eventually it kind of came to a point where I was like, you know, I'm working at Chipotle. I was working at Chipotle for like 5 years, and I'm like, all right, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do something with art, but
This in your early 20s, bro?
no, I was 16 or 17.
Oh, okay, you were
yeah,
young.
so I was
High
about
school.
to, I was about to graduate. And I was
Gotcha.
trying to figure out what I wanted, like where I wanted to go to
Right,
college,
right,
you know, all
right,
this
right,
stuff.
right.
And my thought process was, if I can do something that's like mildly artistic, but I can make money, then I can use, the money to fund my other artistic projects or whatever, So my idea was do graphic design. I was like, I could do, I could make this art graphically and then do whatever else, and my big inspiration with that was like Shepard Fairey, who does the Obey clothing and stuff. He did a lot of digital art and then took it to like graffiti and did like wheat pasting and stuff like that. So I always thought that was super cool.
Did you ever have like formal art classes or training?
No, I've never
or
taken
anything?
an art class ever.
Really?
Yeah, actually, that's a lie. I took sculpture my senior year of high school.
Well, I mean, that's high school. I'm not talking about
But other than that, actually,
yeah.
I just took my first formal art class with my girlfriend, Allie. We did a figure drawing class.
Okay.
And we did that recently, but she does beautiful paintings, and really you should check them out. They're all over like the Instagram and stuff like that, but a lot of her paintings are figures.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to take a figure drawing class, so I just did it with her, but that was actually the first art class I ever took.
Got you.
About what age were you, man, when you started all that? When you started drawing and doing The Simpsons and all that?
Dude, I was probably... I mean, I've been drawing since I was a kid, like a young kid.
Yeah.
But when I actually started like trying to learn, like seeking out, The Simpsons and stuff like that, I was probably... 12.
12.
Yeah, 11 or 12.
You still got those drawings?
No, definitely not. It's crazy though. I did look up the videos that I used to watch. They're like 15 years old, 16 years old, or something like that, and just to like go back. But yeah, no, I doubt I have all those drawings. My mom probably has some of my old drawings, but I don't. I definitely don't have any. I'm very much. It's funny. I'll get into this like maybe a little later with the whole tattooing thing, but I think that's why tattooing's so good for me, is because I don't like keeping my own stuff. So if I get to tattoo someone, they get to take it with them. I don't have to look at it anymore. Like I like pick it apart and I just stare at it. And I'm just like, man.
Well, it's like they say, man, like we're our biggest critics.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And I think there's a level to that where it's good, and then you can kind of push it too far and kind of hurt your own self or your own thought process about.
So you're getting ready to graduate. So what'd you decide?
Yeah, so I did go to school for graphic design for about a year, and
Where
dude,
at?
it was so terrible. Johnson County Community
Oh,
College.
yeah.
So like something. Actually, they have a really good design program. It sounds like community college sounds kind of bad, but like their design program's amazing.
Okay.
And I hated it, dude. Absolutely hated it. Well, I took so many classes like through high school of graphic design, and this is really where it kind of caused like some problems for me. Was I knew a lot going into college,
Gotcha.
and then they make you restart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was in. You have to do all the prerequisites.
Yeah.
I was in like intro to Photoshop.
Right.
And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
I know all this. Like I've
hate
already
that.
done all this.
Right.
So I'm so bored, and I end up literally like getting D's and stuff and C's and F's and all these classes because I like don't even try, which is that's not me trying to like say, oh, I'm above it, but
Well, I mean,
I just like
though?
wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't. It wasn't piquing my interest at all, and it was very corporate, like marketing stuff.
Yeah, they're
so,
trying
like,
to keep you in a square.
Yeah,
and you were
yeah,
like,
of course.
nah.
And now hindsight's 2020. I look at it and I'm like, dude, I should have known. Like graphic design is basically like you're going to make infographics for companies and stuff like that. Like my idea was I wanted to do album covers and I wanted to do like movie posters, and I thought that was really interesting.
Right.
And I just didn't I didn't have that freedom with the design process that while I'm learning I don't get that freedom.
Gotcha.
So it just didn't it sucked, dude. And the tipping point was like I got an F on a project that I actually tried really hard on, and I had a lot of thought behind my design and everything like that, and I like explained it to the teacher. I was like, I literally went to go see him. I would never do this, but like I went to go see him, like, dude, what happened with this? I thought this was sweet. And he told me, he was like, you're thinking too much about it. You got to dumb it down. And I was like, bro. Yeah, I was like, dog.
What the hell is that about?
Man,
dude,
what's
it
the
made
name
me
of that
feel
professor?
terrible.
No,
I don't even want to name him. I actually don't even remember his name.
Yeah,
But he did tell me, like, you have to dumb it down. And that made me be like, dude, this sucks. Like, I'm not trying to dumb anything down. Like, I put all this thought into it. Actually, the project was something about, I was doing something with a cactus, like something with nature, and I turned part of the cactus into a barcode, and that was the part that like he threw me out, like he docked me points for. And my idea was like, everything on Earth is an exchange, like even nature, like you have to pay for.
It's like a commodity.
Yeah, exactly. So like putting a barcode on a cactus, that was my idea, right?
Yeah.
He just didn't
he didn't
man.
like it.
He didn't get it, man.
Way over his head. He was like,
I guess so. But so, dude, I drop out of high school. Or not out of high school. What am I talking about? Out of college. I dropped out, and I told myself I had no clue what I was going to do.
Right.
Dude. And tattooing has never even had gone into my head at this point. And I was probably.
Did you have a tattoo already?
No, I had none. Yeah, I was 18 at the time. I was still working at Chipotle. I started working at Chipotle when I was 15.
Gotcha.
And so I was sitting there with like one of my best friends, and we were like peeling onions or something like that. I don't know. We were doing something. And we're like having this conversation. It was like right when I decided to drop out. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what I'm going to do, man. Like this has been my plan, So now I'm like I don't want to go to school and not have a plan, I feel like that's just throwing money away.
Yeah, the professors are discouraging you and shit, man.
Yeah, man. So it was kind of tough. Like at that time, I was trying to figure out what to do, and he literally said to me, like, dude, you should just be a tattooer. Like all your drawings that you do look like tattoos. Like you could easily translate that. That's how you make money. You can make money doing art. And that'd be cool. And my initial thought was like, absolutely not.
Right.
Like my parents would kill me. They do not like tattoos. Like that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And I ended up kind of looking into it, and I actually saw a couple tattoos. There's one tattoo in specific. It's kind of hard to explain, so I won't go into it. But like one tattoo in specific really made me think like, wow, dude, you can do some really cool stuff on skin, like really interesting work, And I kind of just got into it. So I went to a tattoo convention in Kansas City at the Sheraton, and I got a tattoo while I was there. And
What'd you get?
Dude, I got this. I could show y'all, but it's on my leg. It's a Molotov cocktail, just like a little Molotov cocktail. But it was my first tattoo, and I was like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. Like I like being there and like seeing all the people and like. When I was there, it was like, I actually remember it's May of 2017 was with this convention. And so I'm like, when I left there, I was like, I'm going to start tattooing. So I did. Terrible. For everyone listening, terrible idea. Never do this. I literally bought a tattoo. Yeah. And started like giving people tattoos. Terrible
You bought a little
idea.
gun and everything?
Yeah, bro. Terrible idea.
At that time, was it still the coil guns?
Yeah, dude. And it's funny. I had no clue. I still don't even know how to work those things. I mean, I do. But like at the time, bro, I had no clue what I was doing. Absolutely no clue. And it's like dangerous too, honestly. Like it's not a good idea. And I was screwing people up, man. Like their tattoos look so bad. But at the time, bro, when I did it, I would finish a tattoo, right? And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, this is the feeling I'm chasing.
Do you remember the first tattoo you gave somebody?
Absolutely.
What was it?
I got a buddy named Noah from high school. I did a tiny little cross on his chest. It was like 2 lines, just a little cross. And that I wasn't that impressed with, honestly. But one of my clients, Whitney, I did a tattoo on her. She worked with me at Chipotle. I did a tattoo on her. And it was like, funny enough, actually, it was a little cactus. And I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was like giving me a feeling of like accomplishment that I was like, man, this is gonna be here forever. That's sweet.
Were they paying you?
No,
you were just doing it.
I was doing stuff for free because I was trying to learn.
Right.
And I was like looking stuff up on YouTube, like how to tattoo, and like, dude, there was nothing. And it's funny. Every single video I saw was like, don't tattoo, get an apprenticeship, and that's how you learn, to like tattoo for real.
Right.
So eventually, I kind of figured it out. I only tattooed for probably like 2 months, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But eventually I figured it out, like, all right, I need to stop doing this right now and like actually go learn for real. So I did, and I told myself, and this was still like probably June in 2017 when I decided to stop. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take the rest of this summer to make a portfolio of art. I'm going to go find an apprenticeship. If I can do that, I'll drop out. and I'll give it a year or like however long it takes me to do an apprenticeship. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to school. And I'm the type that I actually would have gone back to school. Like I would have. But I was like,
You're talking about Johnson County.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what I would have done.
Right,
Probably
right,
not
right.
graphic design, but I would figure something out, you know?
Right.
But I did. I made this whole portfolio. I would literally, dude. I had 3 jobs. I would like wake up at 4, go to. Actually, no, not at the time. When I was an apprentice, I had 3 jobs. But like, I would work at Chipotle, so I'd get off work at like 11, come home, and literally draw until like 6 in the morning, just coming up with like anything cool, you know.
Right.
And
did you, Josh? Did you have your style developed already, or were you developing it?
I wasn't even developing it, dude.
No,
I was drawing
you were just
anything, like any style. I would look up tattoo styles, and I would just, that looks cool, and I'd find something like that, and I'd like kind of draw it, you know, and then finish the art, put it in a binder, and that was that. Eventually, I had like, dude, I did like probably 70 drawings, like completed drawings, by the end of July, you know, so in a month and a half,
Sure.
you know, I had like 70 drawings. I picked my 20 best ones,
Right.
put them in a portfolio, and just started walking around to dude, I had a list of every single shop in Kansas City.
Holy
And
shit.
like, dude,
That's
I went
a big
on like,
list.
yeah, man, I went on like a map quest, right? And like figured out a route to just hit every single shop in like the span of 2 days or something like that. And I would just go into every single one and be like, hey, I'm trying to get an apprenticeship. This is my portfolio. Can you at least look at it? And maybe like if you guys offer apprenticeships, I'd love to learn, you know? And nobody, I got like probably a few offers, but pretty much everyone told me like, no, yeah, no, we're not doing apprenticeships or whatever, you know? So,
Is that common? Like,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've turned down a lot. I've had a lot of people asking me for apprenticeships. I turned down a lot.
is it probably like I'm just assuming here that it's probably more along the line of like who you know in order to
Absolutely.
get in, right?
So, funny enough, I got an artist here named Nick, amazing artist. He did a lot of work for me too, but he moved here from Chicago to be an apprentice because he got an opportunity. You know, so like that's dedication. Like I didn't even do that.
Man.
You know, that's some real dedication.
Yeah.
He moved here, and he still works. Obviously, he works here with us, but he's an amazing artist, and he took that opportunity and just went with it because it's hard to get. Like it's not easy, you know, because if you think about it, like you're asking someone to give up a lot of time for you. What are they getting in return? You know, unless they make you pay for it, which is fairly common. But I also, like, if I teach someone, I'm not going to make them pay. If they work hard, then you know, I'm not going to teach them.
Is there a length of time that apprenticeships
tend to last?
Yeah. What's
you
the
know,
length
they
of
can
that?
go anywhere from 6 months to 5 years. It
No
really depends
shit.
on your skill level. So I've heard of, you know, there's some really good artists out there that did apprenticeships. And like, dude, actually, Allie, my girlfriend, she did her apprenticeship in like 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
And she's an amazing artist. So obviously she didn't really need that much more teaching. You know what I mean? For me, it took me a year and a half to do.
I was wondering, Josh, man, explain for people that like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I don't have a tattoo, bro.
Man, I was gonna see if you
really?
would get gun together and start getting it done right now.
Yeah, I might
man,
need
let's
that
do
cross. See what that version of a
that
cross
cross
looks like
out
today.
there,
No, but what I was wondering, man, is like, you know, you said you had done some tattooing before the apprenticeship.
Yeah.
You were like, man, it was horrible. I did some bad pieces type of thing.
It was really cool. They just looked horrible.
Yeah.
It was
No,
awesome.
I get it.
Yeah.
But what I was wondering is like, talk about for people who don't know, like me, why is the apprenticeship so important as it relates to tattooing?
Honestly, I think personally the most important thing is cleanliness and not giving people AIDS. You know, like literally, like there is so many like all of us are certified bloodborne pathogen training. We have like CPR, first aid, like all of it. You have to go through all that, and you know, learning to not
people
cross
could kind of freak out and stuff.
dude.
Freak
Like
out.
I mean, you're
Faint,
working with
pass
blood.
out.
You know, like you're working with blood, so it's dangerous. You know, like if someone has HIV or hepatitis or something like that, and like you were to like say you didn't clean correctly or something like that, and you you touch something you're not supposed to touch, and then you go touch that again with a clean glove and then tattoo someone else. Like, you could be literally
cross-contamination.
like that could be real bad. So that's honestly, I would say, the number one most important thing about an apprenticeship is learning how to be clean while tattooing.
Gotcha.
Because anyone can learn online. Anyone can learn how to draw on someone's skin.
Right.
Like, it's really not. I'm not gonna say it's not hard, because it's pretty tough.
Right.
But like, the most important thing is being clean and taking care of your clients, like, for real.
And then, like, so whenever after cleaning, obviously most important thing.
Yeah.
But what about actual needle to skin?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are you grasping in that? Different from, most people probably think I can draw really good with a pencil or markers or a paint or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the transition of putting it to skin.
This shouldn't be that hard to go to a skin. You know what I mean?
You know what's weird about that? Some people get it. Like, some people pick it up really quick, and I'm one of those people. I can't paint to save my life, dude. Like paintbrush on canvas. Like, I'm terrible.
Right.
And for some reason, the transition from like pencil to paper to needle to skin was real easy for me. Some people it's tough. The biggest thing that's the big difference is different skin to work with, right? If you have, like, for example, you have someone really pale and you have someone really dark skinned, you have a very different process of tattooing, because it's like drawing on toned paper. You can't use the paper to create shapes anymore, because it's going to be the same. Your process is very different. Same thing with someone that is like a woman that moisturizes every day to a construction worker that hasn't touched lotion in his life. You're tattooing rhino skin, or you're tattooing extremely soft, like delicate skin. And same thing for like age, right? So I've tattooed someone that was like, I think she was 75 or something like that. That skin's way different than someone that's 21. You know what I mean? So
real loose skin, real firm skin. You know?
So your process is different based on the skin you're working with. So going from pencil to paper, your paper is always basically the same. Your skin is going to change the second you touch it.
Gotcha.
And it changes throughout the whole tattoo. Like, there's areas where, and even, dude, what's crazy too? There's so much to think about. You kind of figure it out. Like, for me, I don't really think about it anymore because I've been doing it.
Right.
Like, it's just kind of second nature. I know how things are going to react. But I still have people's skin that's like, oh man, this is kind of tough to work with. But for example, like, if I do a piece on the back of the thigh, right? In the middle of the back of the thigh, like, it's normal, pretty easy skin to work with. It's just like thigh meat,
Sure.
Easy. When you get down to their knee ditch, like behind their knee, it starts to get really sensitive. So every mark you make on their skin is going to swell up. It's going to get red. It's going to be kind of tough to work with. So even the areas of their skin changes things, So I think that's probably the biggest difference. And it hurts, People are, not everyone's going to have a great pain tolerance. No doubt. People might move around, and like, you have to work with people moving around.
I was telling you before we started. We have a friend of ours, Los. Shout out Los.
Yeah.
He was telling about this neck tattoo, and I was like, bro, did it hurt? I mean, his back of his, he has this side, and the back.
Yeah.
And
dude,
he said he's getting ready to do this part right here. And I said, did that hurt? And he's like, nah, man, for real, it was fine. He goes, you want to know which one that hurt the most? And I said, which one? And he points at his wrist.
Yes.
And he goes, this little one right here.
Yeah, the wrist is rough.
He goes, bro, that hurt.
It is crazy too, like the differences in people's pain.
Tolerance.
Like, dude, because like he said the back of his neck didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even have the back of my neck. Anywhere on my neck where it got close, it was like excruciating.
Really?
And I'm gonna do the back of my neck, and I'm dreading it, dude.
Oof.
But
I think it's cool, man, just to hear you talk, because as I'm hearing him, D-Rod describe like the different body parts, and like that's all knowledge gained over time, right?
Yeah, of course.
But also, you probably learned some of that going through that apprenticeship too.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the apprenticeship, I think, is, what's crazy too, and this is something that not a lot of people talk about, I feel like, with apprenticeships, is the life experience you kind of gain. Because
With people, what you talking about, like with clients, with people, or just in general?
Like you learn how to be, resilient, or at least maybe for me, at least, I don't know. For me, like I lived in DeSoto my whole life, and then I moved, like I come down here to work and it's like a culture shock.
Different group of people over
yeah,
here.
Man. Yeah. Way different.
Bunch of different fucking people, man.
Dude, it's like country people, out in DeSoto, and like here it's like a melting pot, But it's like everyone is just different, and I learned so much about myself and just life in general from going out of my comfort zone to come here, and work. Because I could have stayed, like I could have went to Olathe, to do an apprenticeship, and it would have been basically the same area. It would have just been kind of isolated, but coming here, like, dude, my mentor used to send me to different shops to clean their shop. When I was an apprentice, I would just, when you're an apprentice, you do a lot of stuff.
Where'd you end up getting your apprenticeship at?
Midtown Tattoo. Dude, amazing
shout out
shop.
Midtown.
Yeah, shout out Midtown, dude. Adam Loomis owns it. Dude is like the coolest dude ever. Like, I totally have the utmost respect for him. Love the dude to death.
How long were you there?
I was there so I did my apprenticeship for about 1.5 years, and I was there for 2 more years. So I was there for like 3.5 years.
Nice, man.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, absolute respect for him. He really took me under my wing. And the reason I picked him, I do want to tell this, was because when I was doing that day where I was telling you guys, where I went to like every shop, he was literally, dude, I probably went to 30 or 40 different shops.
Wow.
He was the only person, like, out of everyone. I got a few offers where people like looked at my book, and they were like, whatever. He was the only one to ask me a question, like me, about what I drew. So like everyone else kind of just flipped through it. Yeah, you're good. Like, it's going to be this much, or you can start this day or whatever. He would look at a piece, sit on it for a second, and then be like, what did you want to, like, what are you trying to do with this? Like, like, how do you like this style? Like, what do you think about this? Why did you draw this?
Well,
why do you want to be a
something in
tattooer?
you too, man.
Yeah, man. And I hope, man, but, he was an amazing, person to learn from, and he was an amazing mentor. He taught me a lot about life, and gave me a lot of good things that I still, like wisdom that I still carry with myself today. So yeah.
When you're talking about skin and the difference in that, which we all know, just like you said.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I remember, JL, and I don't know if you probably do or seen this, but when you started to get on skin or try before that, they used to, I would see guys tatting the orange. You ever see that?
Like orange ink?
No, an orange.
Oh, tattooing in orange.
Orange, the fruit. And they said that was the closest thing to human skin was an orange. And the dude was right there, and I was like, what the fuck?
You can do that, and
but now they got
the fake skin,
fake limbs or whatever.
Pig skin actually is really extremely similar to human skin, and you can go to butcher shops and literally just get like pig's feet and tattoo it.
And no Mexicans gonna do that.
Mexicans
we get some pig skins. We gonna fry that shit up and make some chicharrones.
I got some chicharrones, man.
I got you, dude.
Shit, I intended to try tattooing, but
I'm eating it.
Fuck it. It's chicharrones now,
I got you,
bro.
dude. But it's funny. That is a thing. People do that. I never did that. I actually tried to do fake skin and oranges and stuff. And when my mentor saw me trying that, he was like, nah, dude, you're gonna try on skin. Like, if you mess up, and that's a lesson to learn.
That's a hell of a lesson to learn, man.
Yeah, bro.
I talk about the fucking pressure, bro.
Yeah, bro. It was, luckily I had to tattoo myself first, and now, like, mess it up on myself, I feel okay with.
Yeah.
But, like, messing
You
up,
still
I
got
messed up. Yeah, I got it, man. Yeah, I got all my tattoos that I did on myself.
Josh, in the 2.5 years, you were with Midtown?
3.5,
3.5,
but
sorry.
I was apprenticed for 1.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that time, I mean, you're developing, first of all, your skill, right? You're developing your skill, you're getting better, you're learning the craft, right?
Yeah.
Clientele, I'm sure.
Yeah.
People started coming to you regularly, right? You start developing your clients. But, man, your style, man. And I have to fully admit, D-Rod, man, once we knew that we were going to get Josh on the pod, man, like, I'm checking out your style, bro.
Oh, bro, it's mad crazy.
It's crazy,
Thanks,
man. And
It's insane. I love it.
I've actually taken time Josh, to show people your
I appreciate
tattoos,
it.
man,
Thank you very
because
much.
Yeah.
what I see, D-Rod, and you add on, but what I see is some cartoony in there.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah,
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
I see a little bit of graffiti in there, which we talked about earlier, right? But I see this like really unique dark and light colors,
Yeah.
and it almost looks 3D-ish
Yeah, man. I
off
appreciate
the
that.
skin,
Thank
you know?
dude.
I don't know, man. That just, to me, it's so unique the way
Thank
you
you, man.
blend all that together, man. So talk about the development of your style.
Of my style. You know what, dude? I've been doing that style for probably, it was before we moved here, but I was already like on my own. So probably 3 years about now.
Okay.
And dude, I wish I had a really cool story for how I came up with it, but
It's
honestly,
all right if you
dude,
don't.
I was
No,
tattooing.
man.
You
I
might have
was-
just woke up
Hey, you
one
know-
day and did it, and that's
Yeah,
cool
man.
too, you know?
I was tattooing black and gray realism. I've been doing that for like a long time, you
Yeah.
know, like almost my whole career. Like I started doing like color and like all the different styles, and then when I learned how to do, actually that same friend that told me to do
Tattooing?
tattooing,
Yeah.
he wanted to get black and gray realism, so he asked me to just learn it so I can tattoo him. And I was doing every style at that point. Like I was still working in Midtown, you know. I was probably an apprentice still. I might have been just licensed, but so I was like, yeah, man, I'll figure it out. Like I had a couple people come in for free. So I started learning black and gray realism. Once I learned it, I was like, dude, this is sweet. Like I like this a lot.
yeah.
I like this way more than all the other styles. So that's
Right.
when I knew like I was gonna do realism, black and gray,
Right.
you know, whatever. But
Now, for people that don't know, Josh,
Yeah.
realism, black and gray.
Yeah.
Describe that for people. I mean, I that's what I describe as when
Yeah.
I see your stuff. But how would you describe that?
it's really honestly, so there's a difference between realism and photorealism,
Okay.
right? Photorealism is like portraiture, or like you're looking at a picture and you're doing it exactly how the picture is.
Gotcha.
You know, realism is just anything, you can do it any way,
Your
but it
take
looks
on-
real.
okay.
You know, like it's a real image.
Right.
You know, or like you tattoo it in a way that it looks like it's a real image. You know?
Got you.
In black and gray, obviously, I just don't use color. I just use black, and then I use a series of diluted blacks. So whenever I use those, they heal up a little lighter. So that's how I get all my different tones and
Got
stuff
you.
like that. And I actually use a lot of white too, which some black and gray artists don't really do. Some don't even use white at all. I got a guy, Craig, here, amazing artist as well. He doesn't even use white really at all. He's black and gray.
Okay.
But I use a lot of white. I think it really just makes stuff pop. you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
But yeah, dude, as far as like my style goes, I was doing black and gray realism for a long time. So just the real stuff, but I wanted to do something, like, I really like pop art. I think that's really cool. I've
Okay.
always liked like Andy Warhol and all those,
Yeah.
those pop arty kind of guys, you know, but my thing was I actually liked the cartoon stuff before I really started doing the
Yeah.
graffiti stuff. So I like
Well, that's kind of how you started.
yeah, man, I like to add the cartoons, and specifically, you know what's crazy? I've never done a Simpsons one. I have a couple designs with Simpsons in 'em,
Really?
but I've just never, no one's ever gotten
Nobody's
one.
came in here and asked for one?
I do want to do some Simpsons
Man,
stuff.
I guarantee you there's somebody listening that wants a damn Simpson one, man.
I need
Yeah,
that
man.
Bart. I need
Come
that Bart.
holler at my boy Josh. man.
But I had, yeah, so I started adding, actually it was Tom and Jerry. I started adding Tom and Jerry into these pieces, and I just liked how it just looked different with like the realistic and the cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, it almost looked like, and you know what it is? Cool World. You know that movie, Cool World with Brad Pitt?
Yes.
yeah.
Where he like goes to like the world of the cartoon. It's almost like Space Jam, but
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
different, you know? Those kind of movies were huge inspirations, where it was like
Blending.
a mixture, a mixture of real and cartoon.
Right.
And so I did that, and then obviously with the graffiti stuff, I had, and dude, I ain't even gonna act like I'm not inspired by other tattooers. There's multiple tattooers that do the graffiti stuff that I really look up to, and I get inspired by. I try to be as different as I can from them. You know, I'm not trying to bite their style in any way,
right,
but yeah, I try to add the cartoons and the graffiti. I really just started adding like little bits of it, and what I would do is someone would ask me for a realism tattoo. I'd design it completely how I wanted to do it, right?
Yeah.
With tattoo, like with the graffiti or the cartoons and stuff like that. And then I just show it to him like that's all I had for him, which is kind of like, you know, I'm not trying to manipulate anyone to get into anything they don't want to get. But if they told me like, I don't really like that stuff, I take it out, you know, we just do it regular. Yeah. But some people would be like, all right, that's pretty sweet, you know? So I, then I'd get to do it. And then I'd only post those. So it's kind of tough for a little bit because I didn't have a lot to post, you know, because not everyone's getting that, you know? But yeah, I'd only post those ones with the stuff that I wanted to do, you know? So, yeah, it wasn't like a crazy, like, come to Jesus moment where I was like, this is what I'm going to do, you know? Like, it was just kind of like I slowly added it in, and I would just do it for people if they were cool with it. And I would also do, and this is like for any tattoo artists that might be listening, like, do things for free, you know? Like, if you want to do something really bad, do it for free. I actually have a client literally sitting up there that his wife's getting tattooed, but I did a whole piece on him for free. I did a JFK portrait, and I just really wanted to do it. You know, like I did a giveaway where I was like, send me all your cool ideas, and I'm gonna pick one. And I'm gonna do it for free. And dude sent me JFK, and I'm like, how am I gonna turn that down? Like, of course I'm gonna pick JFK.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, so that was.
Is there a portrait you wouldn't put on somebody?
I don't like doing family portraits.
Okay.
So like if it's someone like their grandma or their wife or something, I've done a few and a couple that I really like, but I tend to like to do people that are extremely recognizable because even if like with portraiture, you have to be so perfect.
That, it has to be precise with everything. It has to be perfect.
Bro. Like there's zero margin for error.
Yeah.
If I'm doing someone that is really recognizable, right? There is like 5% margin for error. If I get something a little bit off, man. You can still you can easily tell who it is. Like say I'm doing a portrait of like Mac Miller's perfect, right?
Sure.
His eyes are very, very recognizable. I've done portraits of Mac Miller before. Even if you get something a little off, you can easily tell who it is. You know, like and it still looks really good. You know, and I'm not. Most of the time I try to be perfect anyway, but at least like I don't have the pressure of doing like, yo, this is this person's dead grandma and like I have to like.
I think what's crazy though about that though, D-Rod, is that like I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that person who's getting the tat is only going to be probably going to be the only person who really knows it doesn't look like that person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the other thing too is like I try to minimize the amount of errors for that person. Obviously, like no tattoo artist, like we're humans too, you know, like we can't get everything perfect.
Right.
I've messed up tattoos. Like not recently, but like as a better tattooer. Like I've been good, you know, and still messed up. Right. Everyone messes up, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not like that an insanely bad mess up or anything like that.
You know, I've always told people, you know, just because an artist does tats, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's a tattoo artist. You know, there's certain specialties that certain ones, you know, thrive a little bit more in, you know, they do, you know. And
dude, and you know what? That's how I try to do everything is I'm a specialist. I do my one thing and I'm good at it. I don't do anything else.
Right.
Like if anyone asks me for color, I'm not doing it. I have people here that are amazing at color. Why would I do a tattoo that I'm not going to do great?
Right,
you know, I could do it. Sure. I could.
Yeah. and, you know,
but like
that's great. That's great that you do that.
Yeah, man. It's literally like if you went into like, you know, a culinary chef, right? Does all their schooling and when they're done with schooling they decide a cuisine they want to be. If they want to be an Italian chef or something, you don't go to this Italian chef and be like, I want sushi. You know? They could probably do it. You know, they probably could do it, but it's not going to be the same as someone that specializes in that.
Man.
And so that's how I've always thought about it is I can do anything.
Did you come out of your apprenticeship like that, or was that like?
No, I think when I finished my apprenticeship, I think I was still kind of just doing everything. I was kind of broke at the time. I had no money, so I'm just like, yeah, man. I was really versatile. I could do anything, you know. So I did everything, you know, and I'm working, you know, at some point and I actually have a artist I used to work with at Midtown that said this to me one time, and he said, some days you make art and some days you make money. sometimes you just tattoo and it's not really you're not really super into it, you know. Luckily now, like, I'm blessed enough to have the clientele where every day I get to do something really cool that I'm really into. But like for a young tattooer that's like coming up and doesn't have, I didn't have that clientele, you know. So I kind of had to do everything. And anything that came in, I'd be like, let's do it, you know, let's run it.
Go ahead, there you go.
No, so your specialty, right, that we're talking about, how long, you know, you're saying that you're trying to find it and you're doing everything coming out.
Yeah.
What was that time like, man, when you did be like, okay, I got it. This is what I'm going to focus on. Like, what
Dude,
was that like, bro?
Dude, it was literally the tattoo I did on my friend that I was talking about that wanted me to do realism. I literally did it. It was a lion, funny enough, because like lions are, you know, a lot of people have lions, but I did this black and gray realistic lion. Yeah. I thought it was so cool. And
I need to see it.
Yeah, dude, I probably got it like way deep in my Instagram, but dude, I did that and I was like, man, this is sweet. And I was like, I definitely want to do more of this. And, you know, I didn't like completely cold turkey everything and like just stop doing everything. I still did basically everything. Right. But at that time, I was like, I want to focus. I want to get better at this, you know? So I did. And I spent a lot of time I did a lot of free tattoos. I did, you know, I just wanted to do black and gray stuff. Yeah. And once I started posting that, that was everything kind of slowed down and everything went up for black and gray, and everyone just started asking me for black and gray, which is funny, dude, because I like when I draw things, like now I draw cartoons still, so that's not really like black and gray realism. You know, I don't think I could draw black and gray realism if I needed to. You know, like I can tattoo it really well, but
not just like pencil.
I can't just pencil to paper.
Yeah,
like if I pencil to paper something, it's gonna be a cartoon.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be anything realistic.
Oh, I feel that. Talk about Forshé Tattoo, bro. Like this is your shop, or what? Talk about how this works here, this space. How did this come to be?
Yeah, man. So this is Kansas City Tattoo Club. This is kind of the shop that we've built. I don't ever like to say I've built, because it's all of us. You know, we've all kind of put in work and do cool things. And it's, you know, I started when I left Midtown. At that time, to hit on Forshé tattoos, like I was saying earlier, I made the name because I used to just be Josh Forshé, like my full name on Instagram. But my thought process was, no one, like the owner of Nike, the brand isn't his name, because, you know, no one's going to remember that, just someone's random name, you know, to me. Right. So I was like, I need to make a brand, you know, for myself, and that way people remember Forshé, you know, like, or like, you know, with my cool logos and like whatever I do, you know.
Right.
So I wanted it to just be like almost like I hate the word stage name, but that's kind of like what it is.
Introducing.
One or two.
Josh Forshé.
Yeah,
but
nice,
so I just went with Forshé because that's my last name, you know, and then my dad had that band that was, you know, called Forshé, and I just thought I wanted to show some respect to my dad, and I thought that'd be cool, you know, like the family name, you know.
Absolutely.
I only have one brother, so it's kind of on us to
carry
it on, man.
So, but yeah, I did that, and when I started the shop, it wasn't even a shop; it was a private studio.
Okay.
So I left Midtown, and at that time, dude, like, I was kind of like crushing for me to leave there, because I actually really, like, I became really close with my mentor, and it just sucked to like.
Probably stay pretty busy too.
Yeah, man. It was sucked to
just
sucked
apart,
to like
right?
leave him. Leave hanging out with him every day, you know, and just like be. You know, it was like a breakup, you know, in a way. He was super cool about it too. Like I was sweating, dude. Yeah. Like,
well,
he
probably
so
gets it as much as anybody else.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Hey, man.
And you know, he did the same thing.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
Like, when he left to start his stuff, and he told me, when I left, he said to me, I wouldn't be doing anything right if you didn't leave one day, you know? So
those are great words.
Yeah,
man.
Great mentor
that
right
made
there.
me feel, you know, a lot better about leaving, but it, you know, it felt
It
like
still
shit,
hurt,
honestly.
man. It still hurt, man.
It hurt bad. So I ended up leaving. I had a little studio in the River Market, and so I was over there for a little bit. We were there for about 6 months, and I ended up, Alyssa, who's tattooing up there, she's a great anime artist. she was an apprentice with me, so I taught her how to tattoo, and it was just us there. And then we decided to hire on another guy who's no longer with us, but he's alive. That sounded like he was dead, but he's just not at the shop anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he came, and we ended up being like, all right, we're kind of full up here. Like, let's get a bigger spot. So we ended up finding this place. And after that, dude, it was like, I mean, we've been here 3 years, and now we have 8 artists, you know. So it was really, and I've had a lot of artists hit me up to like try to work with us, but we're very, very picky. And the reason I say we is because every artist that starts with us, we have them do a guest spot, and we make sure they kind of fit in with the whole crew. Yeah. You know,
how long does that guest spot last? A week?
Not long. Yeah, normally it's like a few days. I just try to get them around everyone just to see how everyone feels about them. Yeah.
Personality matters.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, bro, for sure.
Everyone kind of gets a feel for them, and I ask everyone, hey, man, like, is this cool? Like, are you guys cool with this person?
You're doing the old thumbs up or down, like, what's
and
up?
You know, we've had people, you know, I'm not naming any names, but we've had people that have come do guest spots, and it just wasn't the right fit, you know? Even if they're really good artists. Like we've turned down really good artists. It's just the morale is so important to me. Like, I want everyone to be having a good day when they come here. I don't want anybody to be like, I don't.
What's crazy, Josh, is like when I see your space, and I would say most tattoo shops, when I go in there, even though I never had a tattoo, I've been in several.
We gotta get you one, dude.
Yeah, it reminds me of a barber shop.
Dude, that is awesome.
It reminds me of a barber shop, honestly. Like, and you know, when I go get my hair cut, and whether there's 2 barbers in there, and where I go, there's like 10 barbers, 12 maybe. Yeah, and
it's crazy. It's always a
they all get along. They all talk shit to each other. They all, you know, hey, I'm gonna go get some food. Anybody want anything? Type, you know what I mean? You see that, and I'm like, man, it would be pretty cool to work here, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dude, that's awesome that you say that, because that literally was the exact vision, right? So like when I started. Like when we started, like at the time when I first started, it was only a private studio. I thought that I just worked better by myself. You know, I thought like, oh, I'm just going to get this by myself. But then I realized pretty quickly that I actually just I do like working with people, and I wanted to curate my surroundings, you know? And
it's that camaraderie, man.
Dude, all these artists, bro, they're better than me, you know, like in their own ways, you know, so it's so cool to be around people that are so good, you know, and talented. Like it makes everyone try to be better and do,
well, you know what they say, man, that iron sharpens iron, man.
Absolutely, dude.
You know,
absolutely.
And that's it.
And it's funny you say barbershop, because the idea, at least in the visuals of everything, was to kind of make everything almost look like an apartment or something like a home. I wanted people to feel at home. So like the way I have like furniture set up, I got little games over there. I got like the snack bar, everything, you know. I try to, make everyone feel at home and feel comfortable getting tattooed here, instead of like they're in a doctor's office, or like I've never really liked, I respect the history, but I've never really liked all like the flash on the walls and stuff, like the tattoo flash, just everything covering the walls. So like I like there to be minimal stuff on the walls, just cool art, you know, and make everyone feel at home, you know, and with everyone working here, have everyone, and that's the reason I absolutely hate tattoo shops that are split up and have like their own private rooms. I get the appeal of them, because sometimes you're tattooing someone in more of like you need a little more privacy. We got privacy stuff, you know, if we need it, we can put it up, but like I'll have conversations, you know, I'm tattooing over here. I'll have conversations with Nick over here about the Royals, or, you know, whatever is going on. And then, you know, Allie and Alyssa will be talking, and it's,
hey, yo, man, I'm going to Town Topic. What y'all want?
You know, so we do that all the time. Like, we always go get coffee over across the street, and it's like,
what was this space, Josh, before? Do you know?
Dude, honestly, so it was supposed to be a restaurant. Someone got it and then started the build and then backed out, which was weird. So that's the reason we have 3 HVACs. So like one was supposed to be for the kitchen, one was supposed to be for the front of house, or actually 2 of them were supposed to be for the front of house, and one was supposed to be for the kitchen.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We got like 3 different systems. But
it ain't never gonna be hot or cold. Dude, you got enough in here.
Absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. They like backed out, and when I found it, it was just empty, like nothing in here. And I think if you look on Google Maps, it was like a sign shop or something like that before. But I think that was like years and years ago.
I don't remember what this was.
This block has been.
It's been so many
so
things.
much shit been going
last
on.
20 years.
Yeah,
this thing.
yeah.
But you've been here for 3, so that's man. That's
yeah, man.
That's big ups.
Hell no.
I want to go back a little bit, man.
Yeah.
You know, to your creative process, right? And when you do these realism tats on people, when or how do you decide like what graffiti words or what word you put in there or what character to insert? Is it by something they ask or something that they're more partial to?
Sometimes, yeah.
Or you just go on the fly and it's just like, I'm going to do it this way.
For example, I've done portraits where, funny enough, I did a portrait of this guy's wife that I'm one of my clients. I did a portrait of his wife, but the portrait, like the picture we chose was really like, it would have worked really well, just as a portrait. It's like she had sunglasses on, so it just looked really cool,
Yeah.
But he really liked Mario, so I added a bunch of like Boo ghosts around him. And I had like, the Mario coins, like all kinds of stuff. We did a lot of Mario stuff on his arm.
Is it the one where he has the Mario hand like this? No.
No.
Okay.
I've seen that though. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, not that. But we did a lot of stuff on that arm. But some people ask for it.
So they ask for a certain character.
Some
or
people
something
ask for
want.
it, and some people I kind of just I think about what would go with it, right? So for example, if I did a portrait of the Big Lebowski, like the dude.
Oh, yeah.
The dude.
The dude.
But like I gave him instead of doing graffiti, I did a face tattoo like on him. It was a little bowling pin. And then
dope.
we had ideas of doing like a White Russian in there somewhere. It didn't really end up working out. So we didn't end up doing that. But for another like deep cut like idea that I've had was I just did that Kendrick portrait. It's like real fresh on my page. I think it's like the first post I have. But for that one, I did the cartoon I chose was Wile E. Coyote. For any Kendrick fans, like they know a song called "Cartoons at Cereal" that's like not even on any albums or anything. It's on YouTube. It's one of his old songs.
Okay.
One of the main like in the chorus, one of the main lines is like, all I see is Wile E. Coyotes in the room, and like stuff like that, So I was like, that's perfect, Wile E. Coyotes. So we threw that on there. So yeah, sometimes it's like that, and then if I don't have anything like that I can think of as far as cartoons go, normally I'll put Tom from Tom and Jerry. I love Tom. There's so many good like references of Tom.
Tomcat, man.
I love the fact that you say Tom and Jerry because it's like the only cartoon where they didn't talk.
I know, dude. Yeah,
and it's a fucking great cartoon.
It's great, man.
All of them.
Dude, you know what's crazy? They remade it. I don't know if you've seen this. They just remade it,
movie?
And it's sweet, dude. Like the new Tom and Jerry is like it's new animation, so it looks a little different, but they do all the same like tropes.
The same
they get hit on the
movements and all
head,
that.
the bump, like so it's actually really cool. They did it really well, But for the graffiti, I kind of, and I ain't even ashamed to say this, like if I can't think of anything, I'll go on ChatGPT, dude, and I'll literally type out, hey, for example, I'm doing a Kendrick tattoo.
Right.
Give me some words that I might be able to throw in there if I want to add some graffiti into the tattoo somehow.
Yeah.
And they'll give me a ton of words to kind of work with. Most of the time, I just kind of already have some ideas of stuff to do. So, like for example, you guys might obviously know this, but I did an Andy Reid portrait, the Kansas City Chiefs coach,
dope, man.
and we put Wasp on his cheek because that was like the play that they ran.
Right,
that
Super
really,
Bowl.
The Super Bowl play that was like real.
Do we have time to run the Wasp?
Do we have time to run Wasp? Yeah, so he added that on his cheek. I thought that was pretty cool. So sometimes we just think of like stuff that would kind of work with it, and then if the client will let me, sometimes I add my tag into there, like Forshé somewhere, and that kind of fills some space too. I'll never really do tags on a very prominent part of someone's body. So like if I'm tattooing their neck, I'm not going to tag it. or if I'm doing like
man, this Forshey guy gets around.
A lot of like girls that I tattoo, if they have like husbands or something, I normally don't tag it just because it's like out of respect for the guy. I'm not going to do it, but
unless they ask you.
Yeah, unless they ask me, then I'll absolutely do it. But
are you sure you want my name right there?
There's sometimes like it's just respectful not to do it, but I try to do it if I can. Most people let me do it, and if they ask not to get it, then I won't do it. You know.
Well, so the next time you get pen to paper, pencil to paper, man, you this Enterrupt KC.
Yeah. What would that look like for you? Like if you had to put that together,
microphone in there, you know.
How would you put that together? What character would you use for that?
Okay, so Interrupt's pretty long, so I like to do throw ups, which is like the real bubbly letters, you know. Interrupt's pretty long, so I probably wouldn't do that. But if I had to do something like that, I'd probably do EKC. Or I'd do like a tagging style, or like maybe like a chisel marker, do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably wouldn't do like a big bubbly thing unless I had a really big space to work with. That would be sweet.
You know.
Well, if you want to draw my face and put like a microphone on it or something, that'd be kind of sick. And put D-Rod.
Yeah, you got a lot. Who did all your work, man?
Oh shit, man, it's
Kansas City.
Yeah, Moya did this arm.
Juan Moya.
Sweet.
Yeah, his dad. Juan Moya did most of everything on this arm.
Yeah.
I believe. Whispering Danny did my portrait here.
Sweet.
Rhett. Damn man, sorry Rhett. What his name is? Last name. He did. Oh man, I just
and Forshey is gonna do. No.
Yeah,
let's do it, man.
That's dope, man. So let's talk real quick. So what are your hours, man? Somebody wants to come get a hold of you. Let's talk about that real quick. How can somebody get a hold of you if they want to come down?
So we actually, I used to do everything just through email, but we have a website now.
Okay, what's that website?
kctattooClub.com.
Okay.
And you can do the booking request through the website, and it'll just send an email to me, and then we just respond straight to that, and we'll send an email to you being like, most of the time, actually, luck, again, very blessed to be able to have a lot of people in my career that want to get tattooed by me. So I turn down quite a bit of tattoos if they're not really something I think I can knock out the park, you know? But when I get those booking requests, I'll go through them all, pick the ones that I want to do, and then have my assistant reach out to all of them. And then all the ones that I don't want to do, I'll have my assistant recommend them to someone in the shop that I think could do a better job on them.
People like if somebody wants to get a realist tattoo, right?
Yeah.
And your style, but they don't know what they want exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, I just know I want something from you.
Yeah.
Right. How would that conversation start?
I actually, you know what's funny? Absolutely, I'll take that over something I wouldn't want to do. But I actually like when people have a idea of what they'd like, because if they normally when they're like, do whatever you want, they don't want like whatever I want. You know? Like I can't tell you how many times I'll have someone ask me that, and then I'll design this whole tattoo, and then they'll be like, well, I don't really like that, but like you know, whatever. So I'm like, Jesus. But if someone really doesn't know what they want, they just want something from me, I would say go on my Instagram, pick a couple tattoos I've done, and send them to me. And like the ones that you like, right? And if you send them to me, and then it's like, say, for example, I like doing, and one of my favorite subjects to tattoo is a girl's face with sunglasses. I've done a bunch of them. They're just, to me, I like the reflections in the sunglasses. There's a lot to work with. I just like doing the pretty girls. I think it just makes for a really good tattoo.
Yeah.
If someone sent me like 3 of those, right, and they're like, I like these, then I know what to do. You know, like they want a pretty girl with sunglasses, and we'll make it look sweet. You know, but
you did a tat. It was on your IG. I believe it was a Michael the Archangel.
Yes. Yeah.
That.
I've done a few of those actually.
That
man.
was sick.
Was it the small one?
No, it would look pretty big
Pretty
actually.
big. Okay. I've done a few of those, man. Those are really like at this point, dude, it's like second nature, man. I can do those.
Blindfolded.
Yeah, I can do those blindfolded. Actually, I enjoy doing those. I like doing anything that's like the old like the old style art, like either like not graffiti, Greek architecture or like the statues.
Yeah.
I love doing that stuff. Actually.
What's your IG handle, man, so people can come check you out?
Forshé tattoos, Forshe, and then tattoos. All lowercase. Yeah.
So I have a daughter. My youngest daughter's been, jail.
She's trying to
Molly
get
is,
tattoos.
man, she's been on it, man. She's like, Dad, I want one. Dad, I want one.
How old is she?
She'll be 17. No, she'll be 18. I'm sorry, Molly. She'll be 18 in September.
Oh man, dude, she's about to go crazy with the tats, then, man.
She is, man. She's ready for it, but she wants some fine line. She wants some fine line, like floral pattern.
Yeah, man. So we actually, Vera and Ori, who are both on our Instagram, the KC or Kansas City Tattoo Club is our Instagram for the shop. Vera and Ori, they both do fine line. Okay. Amazing work, dude.
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
So if you tell her to check out their work, dude, that, like, I don't think anyone in the entire city can do it like they do. Like,
there
it's,
we go,
yeah, they're amazing.
I had to break down. D-Rod knows this. I had to break down Josh and get my 16-year-old a tat.
Really?
He really wanted one, man.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, I want to get a tattoo. I want to get a tattoo. And, man, I don't have a tattoo. And I'm like, both my boys got tattoos before me.
Clean
How
canvas
do you feel
right
about
here,
tattoos? Are you just like, you don't...
No, I love tattoos.
You love them, but you just don't have anything you want to get?
I tell people this. I'm glad... No, let me back up. I know what I like. I know what I'd like to get. I think time and money is always my biggest obstacle with it, you know?
Yeah.
Because something always seems to take the place of priority of a tattoo for me.
Absolutely, yeah.
But what I will say is I'm actually glad, thinking back over my adult life, like, yeah, I'm pretty glad I didn't get that shit tattooed on me after all. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, that's a thing.
Because
man.
now, man, you know, I'm in my 40s and I know who I am and I know what I am. And
I think it's still time, though.
It's
still time.
There's still time.
Listen, D-Rod been pushing me for years. He's like,
it's bedtime, man. He needs to get something.
But what I was saying, you know, I got my son a tat, and he got it on his ankle.
Yeah.
Of all freaking places.
Yeah.
On inside of his ankle. And
this is first one.
First one.
Was he dying?
I think that's a good spot for a first one.
And he got this, you know, circular design and all this and that with words and stuff. And I remember Moya, shout out Moya, is the one who did it. And Moya was like, bro, he gonna hurt. He gonna be in some pain. Watch. And I was like, okay. He sat there like
nothing.
He was on his phone the whole time, like nothing was even happening.
I'm telling you, dude, some spots, people are so different. So like, I hear all the time that your foot is one of the worst spots to get, and I have my feet tattooed, and they did not hurt. For me. Like, it was not bad. But then I'll tattoo someone's chest, bro, and they'll sit there like it's nothing, like talking to me the whole time. And I got my chest tattooed, and I wanted to end my life, dude. Like, it was so bad. Like, it was so bad.
I got my chest piece, and I fell asleep.
Dude, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I was like, dude, it was like funny to me. Like, I cannot believe this hurts this much. Like, this is insane.
It is. There's something to
By
that.
far my most painful one, dude. Sick piece, though. Like, Owen Jennings at Black Atlas did it for me. I have a 3-headed Sphinx cat across my chest, and it is tight, but like worth the pain for sure. But yeah, man,
right here in the middle sternum part.
Terrible.
That was the most one for me. Yeah, that was the only one.
Yeah, man.
You know, my back piece was no problem. Everything else was no problem.
So I want to get my back. Is it bad? It's not bad.
No, it's
I
not
have
bad.
nothing on my back.
I have you know it's a little tender down, you know, lower. I would say it gets a little tender and probably a little bit on the outside, you know.
Yeah. That's kind of just like your ribs, honestly. Like, it gets over to that. Once you get far enough, man, it just becomes...
You know what I might do, man?
What?
Josh, is, I don't know you've seen this. You know where people get put to sleep and they're like, fuck it. They're like, fuck it. I know exactly what I want.
Oh, man.
Just lay there for 4 hours.
Do my arms, do my neck, do my... That's gonna be me one day.
Have 5 artists jump on.
Some dude just died doing that.
No way.
Yeah,
No
bro.
shit.
So they didn't know. He had a complication with his heart they didn't know about. And when he got put under, he died. Yeah. It's
Damn.
crazy. So
Holy shit.
I always suggest against that. But if you got the money, dude, if I had the money, I'm
Well, then,
probably doing
like,
it.
Post Malone,
Yeah.
like, all these celebrity artists, they've been doing this now.
Yeah, they've been doing it, man. It's
Well,
crazy.
they got so much stuff now, man. They got numbing cream. Back when, you know, I started getting them, man, you just...
I've never used a numbing cream.
Yeah. A lot of people use
You know what?
that.
I will say this about numbing cream. It makes it worse, I think. in my experience, I've used it while tattooing. I've never used it on me, but dude, when I have someone use numbing cream, they'll get tattooed really well for like the first hour because they can't feel it, and then after it wears off, it's like twice as painful because it hits you all at once, dude, and you don't have time to like
adjust
get used to it, because at some point when you're getting tattooed, you almost become numb to it. I'm not say completely numb, but like your body does it for you.
Right.
To where like I literally think the easiest time getting tattooed is between hour like 2 and 5 or 6. Like between there. Eventually it just sucks. You know? But like you're feeling pretty okay for a while unless you're on a really tender spot. But
the best part is when you put that final cleaning or that nice wet cold.
Yeah, man.
Man, that sensation.
Dude, some people
bro,
like that.
like,
Some people hate
man.
it, man. Some people hate it. I had a dude that absolutely like wouldn't even let me put it on the towel. Like,
really?
Like I had to dry wipe him, which is crazy.
Wow,
like
man, that's
he wanted
even worse
to be dry. I
scratching.
know that's what I'm saying. But he hated the wet like wipe.
Oh,
you
man.
know?
That's great.
D-Rod has talked about getting his head tatted like yours.
Yeah, man. Actually, you know what, dude? It was not bad at all.
Really?
I thought it was so easy, and really the worst spot was like right here. And what's funny about that is I have really sensitive eyes. Like normally I wear sunglasses. Like I wear sunglasses so often because my eyes are just so sensitive. But when you're getting tattooed right here, dude, it like rattles your cage, man.
Your
and
skull
like
just
your eyes start watering like crazy, and you have to like lay down. So then your eyes are like pooling up, and my eyes are so sensitive. So dude, my eyes were like puffed out, dude.
No
like
shit.
it was terrible. It's making my eyes water right now just thinking about it. But dude, yeah, so that sucked right there. But everywhere else, dude, I could have fallen asleep, man.
Really?
Like so easy. So
yeah, my
easy.
wife won't let me, man.
She won't let you.
Nah, bro, she won't let you, man. No,
Keep
my wife will
working
not-
on her, dude. She might come around.
I've
to it.
been trying to work on that shit, Josh, for 4 or 5 years, brother. She got so much that she got my daughter saying no. You know, Dad. Mom says no, Dad, you're not gonna do it, man.
Dude, I love head tattoos, man. I think they're sweet.
That's dope.
I do too, man.
Yeah.
I love what you guys got going on here, man. So here, man, the shop. How many artists you got here?
Okay, we have 8 of us, including me.
Okay, so can you shout them out real quick?
Absolutely, dude. We have Ori Merchan, who does both black and gray and color.
Okay.
Amazing artist. She does the fine line stuff, but she also does like, dude, she does like small realistic stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Black and gray and color, amazing. We have Vera. Her handle is, I mean, all this stuff is on our Kansas City Tattoo Club Instagram.
Yeah, we'll find it. Okay.
But her handle is Vera Inc. Amazing fine line stuff. Like so good, it looks printed.
Wow.
Like it's crazy.
I need to holler about her.
Like tiny stuff, you know, to where it's just like it's insane. I couldn't do it if I tried.
Yeah.
Allie the artist, amazing tattooer, amazing painter. She's
AKA
my girlfriend, but I don't
Josh's
want.
girlfriend?
Yeah, she's my girlfriend. I don't want to like, you know, just say that's all she is because she's like legit one of the best painters I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Best art. I mean, she did this, but like, I wish her paintings were here. She's at a convention right now, so she brought all the paintings. But dude, amazing work. You can find her on the Instagram. Nick Wheeler, dude is so precise.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like he did an entire like stomach mandala for me. He does a lot of that geometric work. So precise that dude, if you look at his business cards up there, they're like it's so crazy. I love telling this. They're like perfectly, everything on the business card is perfectly in line with the Fibonacci sequence. So like the way everything is designed, it's like absolutely like symmetrically perfect.
Wow.
On his business card. It's so cool.
Wow.
He's awesome. We have Alyssa Ruiz. Her Instagram is Inklys, INKLYSS. She's an amazing anime tattooer. That's all she does is anime tattoos.
That's pretty in right now too.
Yeah, man.
Anime's
She
big.
stays. She's probably more busy than anyone else in here for sure. We have Craig St. Peter. Dead Crown is his Instagram, but he does amazing black and gray, like neo-traditional tattoos.
Okay.
Really cool stuff. And then Justin Bird, who also does neo-traditional, but he does both black and gray and color. His work is so cool, and his drawings are really cool. You can see his You got a popsicle Hanya mask over there.
Yeah.
Dude's just super creative. He's pretty new to KC too, so like definitely book with him. And Ori also just moved here from Miami, and Vera actually moved here from Ukraine.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got a lot of
You
new
got some
people
international
here.
going
man,
on here. International.
Yeah, so everyone in here is good, man. And then obviously I work here too.
What I mean, you talked about personality, and you know, you got to fit in with the crew. You know, outside of that, man, which we all know is important. What are you also looking for from the artists?
You know what? For a while there, I was looking for different stuff. You know, so like if we had, for example, if we have Alyssa that does anime stuff, I probably wouldn't really be seeking out another anime artist, just because I don't want to like double up on her, even though she can afford it. She literally has like her wait list is insane right now. I just wouldn't, you know. So like I try to.
So you try to keep them all like unique with their own style.
Of course. And me and Nick do fairly similar work. I would say we're the most similar out of like everyone here. But that was one thing I was really looking for. But obviously I want people to have good work. But if someone like wanted to work here as a tattooer and they are decent and they have a really good attitude, I would be open to them working here. I want to keep the work at a level where it's like very exceptional, you know, but people can get so much better being around the right people.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, to me, man, like just hearing you describe the artists, but shout out all the artists, man, here. It sounds to me like anybody from Kansas City or anywhere really, the nation, can come here, walk in, know they want a tattoo, and find the style that fits what they're looking for. You know, find the artist, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's actually here, they can find it.
Yeah, and that's great you say that, because that's kind of what I wanted to curate. But I think we're missing like a couple different things, you know, like we don't have someone that does like really good like lettering pieces or something like that, you know. But I like to do it like graffiti lettering, but like that's very niche, you know. So like we don't have someone like that, but like there's a couple different things we're missing. But I think we got bases covered, to be honest. Like I think we got a lot of very unique artists that can basically do anything someone's asking. If someone comes in and asks me for something, normally I can send them to someone. Well,
the question I have is, you know, for our listeners and people who's interested, right? How do you decide prices for that? Like somebody wants to come in and say they want a piece from you, or you know, even any of the other. Is it? I know that it depends on the size. You know, definition.
Yeah, it depends on the piece, and it depends on. Honestly, for me, it depends on the time. I don't really care what the piece is. I can give you a price based on how long I think it's going to take me. But,
and you got that broken down just by like how big they want. Like
So I do a lot of the artists in here do day pricing. So if you're going to take up their whole day, you're going to pay a price. You know, if you're going to take up half of their day, you're going to pay a price for that. You know. We have a couple artists that do per piece, so like flat rate pricing. So they'll see a piece and they'll be like, "This is how much it is, $850 for this thigh piece," or something like that, you know. And then with Vera and Ori, they have a lot of their stuff they do is pretty small. So I feel like I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they do like piece pricing like that, like flat rate.
Gotcha.
For the rest of us, most of us do day pricing, and I think most of us are between $1,000 and $1,400 for a full day. So if you're doing an 8-hour tattoo, it's gonna be $1,000 or $1,400, like anywhere between there. I personally do $1,400 for a full day, and then $700 for a half day.
Right.
And I that's kind of how I tell people, like, just stick to that. If we go like, you know, 6 hours, I'm not gonna charge you for the $1,400 for the full day, because we didn't go 8 hours, you know. I'll do somewhere in between. I'll kind of come up with the price at that point, but I just tell people that so they can be prepared for anything, because like if we're going between 4 and 8 hours, it could be anywhere, you know. So I want them to be prepared for the 8 hours. And I tend to, like you were talking about, like the depth in my pieces, you know, earlier. The dark and you know, kind of making it look 3D. That takes a long time, you know. So
it looks like it.
Yeah, I tend to take a while, you know, to tattoo. And so therefore, I'll normally take, when I work, I normally take 8 hours to start a piece or to work on it or whatever. I'll take the whole time.
Right.
So
Okay.
most times, I'm charging about $1,400.
Okay.
Okay, so so again, I'm thinking about like people that might want to break that up. Say they come in and they're like, okay, 8 hours, but I can only do 4 hours today or
I
2
do that all the
hours
time.
and shit
Yeah.
like that. They can break it
So
up.
my minimum is $450, which covers 3 hours. So if you want to do less than 3 hours,
Okay.
it's still going to be $450
Gotcha.
no matter what. It's always going to be $450.
Right.
But if I've had a lot of people be like, "Hey man, like I want to do this, but realistically, I only have like $700 per session, So I'll do like, yeah, hell yeah, man, we can do 4 hours. We get in here, get
Right.
working. And the way I normally do that to kind of make it fair is the first session, I'll spend the whole session like, it's called gray lining, but you basically make like a permanent stencil.
Right,
So they
right,
always
right, right.
have like a stencil on.
Right.
That way, the other sessions, when they walk in, you start.
You just go
yeah,
right
like you
there.
just go right in. You don't have
Right.
to deal with stencils. You don't have to deal with
Right.
all the extra stuff that takes like an hour and a half, or an hour, to get on. Especially doing bigger pieces, stencils can take a while.
Yeah.
But
That's how I did my back piece, man. Cat who did mine, his name was Roxy.
yeah,
And he outlined my back, put it all on there. I'm just gonna do that line.
Yeah.
Day one.
Yeah.
And zoom, boom. All right,
and then
cool.
you're good.
Yeah.
From
Right.
there,
Came back
like
every
you,
week and
you
got on
go
it.
jump right back into it. Which those are literally the best days. I love days when I see on my schedule. I'm like, oh, I'm finishing that piece. Thank God. Like I just get to.
Right.
They come in, they hop down, we get going, dude.
I was thinking, man, like, so, before we got going, we were like, hey, yo, man, like, because I saw you guys won some awards recently, you got some
man, yeah.
recognitions and stuff.
It was cool.
and-
Last weekend we did, sorry not to interrupt,
No, go
but we did a show last weekend called Middle of the Map. Me and Craig did, Dead Crown.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool, not to like flex, but we swept the whole weekend for the Black and Gray Awards. Like we got first, he got first on Friday, I got first on Saturday, and then he got first again on Sunday. So it was like
nice.
first place all 3
Man.
days, which is kind of cool. But
That
sorry.
is a
No,
flex,
well,
eh?
man, you know what that is, D-Rod.
Man, come
Josh,
on,
you don't
man.
have a drink in front
You
of
ain't got a
you.
drink, man,
but we like to give a salute, man, to our
Sweet.
guests, man. That's a salute.
That's a salute,
Thank
man,
you,
to
man.
that. There's a convention going on right now too.
Yeah,
you got some people there?
Allie's over there. She's not tattooing, but she did a painting seminar. So she taught how she paints, all week. And I actually did that all weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday were the seminar days. So
Right.
I went in there and did the class, and it was really, dude, she's a great teacher.
How does that work, man? Well, first
Yeah.
off, man, congratulations on the awards, bro.
you, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
man, I mean,
Thank
your
you.
guys' work, your work especially, bro. That's why, we were so amped to talk to you, man, just
Thank
because
you,
it's
dude. I
unique,
appreciate it.
man, and
Oh, yeah.
we love grabbing the story of uniqueness.
Yeah.
Funny thing is what? Just yesterday we put on we asked ChatGPT to make dolls of us,
Yeah.
and use.
Dude,
things.
did you post it?
Yeah.
Okay, I definitely saw it. 'cause
So
I was like,
on the D-Rod shirt, what does it say?
my
Unique
God.
Kansas City something.
Uncommon culture
Uncommon
of Kansas
culture.
City.
Yeah,
like
man.
it just created
That's
it out
cool,
of nowhere,
man.
man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
kind of
Super
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope.
But like to me, like that is also kind of what you guys got going, man.
Yeah.
Or for you, for sure, man. You got this really unique, almost uncommon style that I know for me, I've rarely seen.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, man.
And I guess going back to the awards and the recognition, man, that to me is just so well deserved, bro. Like
No doubt.
talking about DeSoto, Kansas, growing up, growing
Yeah.
Bart, drawing Bart Simpson and the Simpsons and
Yeah.
not flunking, but stopping college, and
yeah.
not knowing what to do, working at Chipotle,
basically.
cutting onions, bro, to today, man. And
Yeah, man.
now you're getting these awards and recognitions, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about that, man. What is that? How does that feel? I know you don't want to flex,
Yeah.
but this is a moment where you
Obsession,
have to flex,
Hey,
bro.
man, when you're at home, you're like, holy shit, I did it.
yeah,
Right?
It's obsession, bro. I was obsessed with getting better. Like I still am. I wouldn't say as much now. I still do. But when I was an apprentice and in my first couple of years, dude, I would tattoo all day, or I'd learn stuff all day. I'd sit there and watch my mentor tattoo. I'd do stuff all day, and then
Right.
I'd go home and literally watch videos all night about tattooing and learning from other people and stuff like that. I'd go to different shops. I'd watch other people tattoo. People I really respected as artists, I would go get tattooed by them, just sit there and watch them tattoo the whole time. dude, it was like pure obsession for like a long time, and I still am really obsessed. But there's a lot. I got a lot more going on now that I don't really like sit there and watch videos as much as I used to. But dude, like that was what it was, and like I knew I had a clear. I'm very like I'm blessed to be like a visionary, you know. Like it sounds like I'm like, you know, blowing my own horn, but like I knew what I was like, what I wanted, you know, and I knew I had a path. Like I knew exactly what I needed to do to get there, and I did it, you know. And I still have now. I have a lot of different goals, you know, that still involve tattooing, but now it's creating spaces, I guess, for these artists and doing and taking care of these people and still taking care of my clients, you know. And I still have all my personal goals and stuff, but they include everyone now, you know. And
do you foresee? Do you ever foresee Kansas City tattoo shop part 2 somewhere?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's already in the works.
Oh, nice.
I'm already like kind of planning. I don't really know
location.
If I want to do another spot, or if I want to take this and go to a bigger place and do it like more grand, you know, but having everyone from here. Because my thing was, I would love to have everyone in one space. Obviously, we don't have the room anymore, really. You know, we're kind of full up now. We have I'm getting another station for guest artists, but that's going to be it. You know, we're not going to take any more artists probably.
A guest artist is like a fly-in person or something?
Yeah, someone that wants to just come. Like we got friends from out of town that tattoo and want to come hang out for a few days. They'll tattoo here, do a couple, make some money, you know, kind of pay for their trip. So yeah, my thought process was, I could just open up another shop and have different artists there. But then I'm like, it'd be kind of weird that like everyone here, they technically work for the same place, but it's like they don't know each other, you know. So like the people from the different spaces. So I'd almost rather have everyone in one space. I don't really know how I'm gonna do it, to be honest.
When you talk about that camaraderie and how, you know, everybody gets along,
super important. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, so I don't want to lose that, or I can recreate it, I think, you know, in a different space, but still, like, then I have like it's like having 2 friend groups, you know, like it's like weird. So I don't really know how I'm gonna do it, but that is definitely a thing I want to do.
Expansion, man. What's right next door?
Barbershop, Catalyst Barber.
They just opened up too.
Yeah, they just opened up, dude. They're sweet. We all get our hair cut over there. All the guys at least do.
I heard.
They're real cool.
The restaurant's closing.
Cafe Gratitude, man. I just heard that. That's kind of sad, man.
Knock down the wall, man. There's an expansion right there, Josh.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean,
man,
listen, I mean,
they've been around
it
for a
does
long
suck,
time.
man. I mean, I ain't saying that to.
Well, yeah.
You know,
No.
I'm just saying, you know, opportunity.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, absolutely.
But
and honestly, I really considered doing it. It just wasn't the right time. But whenever there was a spice shop next door, Savory Spice used to be right next door. When they closed, I did have that thought, like maybe we should, you know, expand over there. But it just wasn't the right time. I think we only had like 4 or 5 artists at the time, and it was just like I was just focused on us, you know. So,
well, I look forward to it, man. I look forward to it. Dude. I mean, I look forward to seeing what you guys do next, man, and you definitely on the list, bro. Like, you know,
Sweet,
like whenever I break this, pop my cherry, you know,
yeah, dude,
like
absolutely.
I definitely on the list, bro.
Man, you talked about your obsession here briefly, man, and how it got you to where you're at. In comparison to your early pieces, what's the difference between those, if any? I mean,
you know what,
you've
dude?
mastered and you do it right now, but do you look back at some of those early ones and like,
yes, absolutely, all the time.
right?
Dude, I remember, it's crazy. There's a tattoo I did of a Grim Reaper years ago, and I remember doing it and thinking, bro, I fucking snapped. Like, this might be the best tattoo to ever come out of Kansas City. Like, I remember thinking that. And, like, I went and got my mentor. I was like, dude, you gotta come see this. Like, this is so cool, you know? And, like, he came and looked at it, and he didn't seem very impressed. And I was like, what the hell, you know? Like, dude, this is so sick. Dude, I look back at that tattoo now, I'm like, what was I thinking, dude? Like, I was like, this is very obviously done by a beginner, you know? And like, dude, I remember being so proud of myself. Man. But you know what's good though? Like, I was really proud of myself, and I'm glad I was. I'm glad I'm not like so hard on myself. But dude, I look at tattoos I did a couple of years ago, and they were really good tattoos, and they still are.
Right.
But like I can see the clear difference in growth, you know, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Now, especially like I've been tattooing for I'm on year 7 right now.
Yeah.
Now it seems like the growth is much slower, and it does get a little tough because you don't see anything from piece to piece normally. But then I'll look at a piece I did a year ago, which is not really that long, you know, and I'll compare it to something I'm doing now, and it's like a night and day difference. You know, it's really cool to be able to see that growth. But
right. And that's what I was going with it, you know, right? Like, you know, when you go back and look at them, and like JL said from the get, you know, like, man, we're a worst critic with everything that we all do, you know, but you can visually see that and be like, oh man, what was I thinking?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I look back all the time, dude. All the time, and see the stuff I used to do.
And you see it, but the other people, they just think, man.
Yeah, most
sick,
people.
man.
Yeah, it's crazy because most people will see stuff that I do and really like it, and that's awesome, dude. Like the main thing I'm going for is the client to like their tattoo.
For sure.
Like I'm not going for like me to think it's the coolest thing in the world.
Sure,
you know,
man,
I'm trying to get the client to really enjoy.
Yeah,
at least enjoy the process.
Do you got a funny story about a client, and you ain't got to put them on blast and who it is, but like a story, man, of something you did on somebody.
This is one of the. I always tell this story. I was probably freshly licensed, like just got licensed, and I told. Like we were doing a Friday the 13th. I don't know if y'all know about Friday the 13th, but that's like a big day for tattooers. A lot of tattoo shops do like a Friday the 13th like flash sale. Basically, at the time back then, it was like $13 tattoos. Inflation changed that, you know. So now it's like
$300.
People do it like $50 or something like that, you know, for a tattoo. Yeah, but we were doing a Friday the 13th. This is back when I worked at Midtown. We were doing Friday the 13th, and every artist had a giveaway to do. So we were doing like a $150 tattoo for free. Right. So everyone would enter all these giveaways, and at the end of the night, we went on live and like did all the giveaways. And there was this dude. This guy was crazy, right? He'd come into the shop all the time, and like he'd tell us he was like a rapper, right? He wasn't a rapper, but he thought he was. He'd come in there and show us like these tattoos. He's like, dude, I gotta get this, but he'd be like, I don't have any money though, but I'll come back when I do. And so we just hear him out, you know. All right, cool, man. Dude didn't have any eyebrows, right? He had shaved them off, and he just tattooed 2 lines across it. Dude looked wild, right? He was great. He was just a character, man, over in Westport.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was like homeless or I think he was for a while there.
Right.
I don't know, but he would come into the shop all the time, just like telling us stuff. Anyway, he literally won my giveaway. So he came in that day, entered the giveaway, and won my giveaway. So I had to do literally whatever he wanted, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, this is going to be wild. And he wanted this tattoo on his back, right? It was the weirdest placement. He wanted it like not in the middle of his back, slightly lower than the middle, and then slightly over. Just weird placement. He had nothing on his back. So it was just like, why would you put this right here? That's really where he wanted it. And he wanted Scooby-Doo with a blue bandana, and it said "Rest in peace to the Crips" underneath it, and that was his tattoo. And I was like, bro, I was like, all right, man. So like I did the tattoo for him, and that's what he got. And he left.
Wow,
and
you got a picture of it?
No, I don't. I wish I had a picture, bro. It was the craziest thing I've ever tattooed. But,
dude, that's insane.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy, but I got a lot of wild, you know, things. Yeah, people. You meet a lot of crazy people tattooing.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. All right, some fun stuff, man. Just to get some other personality out of you, man.
Absolutely.
You're a tattoo artist. You clearly have tattoos.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tattoo you have so far on your body?
Dude, I always say my fingers, bro. I don't know if the camera can see these, but they're my parents' birth years, so they kind of have they kind of have meaning to me, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
1969 and that 1972.
Okay.
They are done by my boy Vampiro out of Chicago. Does like dark kind of like gothic lettering.
Yeah.
He also did like this side of my face right here.
Gotcha.
It says KCTC, Kansas City Tattoo Club. But those are my favorite. I think the finger tattoos, I remember when I first started getting tattooed, I was like ready to get my fingers. And it's kind of just like an unspoken thing. You're not really supposed to get your hands or your fingers or your neck until you get some other ones,
right,
you know?
Right.
Because it's just like a rite of passage thing.
Right.
But dude, the second I started tattooing, I was like, I'm getting my fingers, and they're gonna be the coolest things ever. You know, and I think finger tattoos are so cool, and these are like so cool to me. I love them. But I also have a portrait of Walter White, Breaking Bad. It's like I'm like obsessed.
Heisenberg.
Yeah,
boy.
I'm like obsessed with Breaking Bad. So I
Yeah.
got that portrait of Heisenberg in my arm.
Science.
Like, yeah, and like if y'all remember the little pink bear from season 2,
Missing the eye.
Yeah, I got him tattooed on my arm too.
That's
it's a
dope,
whole like
man.
Breaking Bad tattoo.
That's dope.
Those are probably my favorite, I would say. Yeah.
What is your next tattoo?
Dude, I actually don't know. I'm teetering between, so I have this entire arm empty. I didn't get anything on it because I kind of just got random stuff on this arm. So I wanted to do something real cool, like on this arm. All cohesive, like one artist, whole thing, right? I really want to get that started, but I also, I have my whole neck. I just finished my whole neck like last year, and then I have the back of my neck that's like an empty gap.
Yeah.
And it kind of bothers me whenever I see it in pictures, so I kind of want to get that done. But like I was saying, dude, that
pain.
hurts,
Yeah,
bro.
the
And I'm like
pain.
not
Come
looking
on,
forward to
man.
that. So those are probably, I would say those are my next two. I do want to do my back at some point, but for me, like at this point, dude, I've gotten so many tattoos. I don't like getting tattooed anymore. It just sucks. And for me to go through, I don't take my shirt off very often, so like no one's ever gonna see it. I'm not gonna see it. And to go through all the pain of getting my back done, I'm like, man,
I never
dude.
take my shirt off.
Yeah, dude. And like, so I was thinking I might have my boy Craig do it because he tattoos so fast. He could literally do my whole back in like 3 days. But I just haven't decided yet. So probably I'm probably gonna get my arm started next if I had to pick.
Hell no.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to ask you. You said your boy Craig. Who you keep it in house usually?
When I get tattooed,
Yeah.
actually, yes and no. I've tried to get tattooed by pretty much everyone. I have been tattooed by everyone except the people that are fairly new. So like Justin, Ori, and Vera all started within the last like 6 months. So I haven't been tattooed by any of them yet, which I want to. But
Who did your head?
my head, dude named Max28 out in LA. So I met him a while ago doing a seminar, and he worked at the shop of the person that was doing the seminar. So I was like learning tattoo techniques, stuff like that. You know? And I met him, and I was like, he's from Russia. Came here to do a guest spot, and I was like, this might be my only shot to get tattooed by this guy. So I went and got the inside of my arm done. It's like a Cupid, like a little baby angel, but he has like a ski mask on. He's holding like a dragon off. Like, dude, it's sweet, man. It's super cool. But yeah, so I have that on the inside of my arm, and then dude, he was just real cool, and I just really liked his work. So I was like, I'd seen him tattoo people's necks, and for certain, this is a little advice, especially you when you start getting tattooed. If you have an area you want to get tattooed, if it's a special area, so like not your forearm, like if it's on a hand, look at the artist's work. This is for everyone. Look at the artist's work on that area, because some people can do great tattoos on the forearms and the thighs and whatever, but they can't do it on the neck. You know, like the neck's tough.
Or even the head because of the curve.
Too. Yeah, the head stuff too, and. You know what's harder about the head is putting the freaking stencil on. Like, it's like you have to place it so perfect. And dude, luckily Max, he can do anything, man. I saw his neck, so I'd seen his neck tattoo, so I was like, I gotta get my neck done by him because his neck tattoos are amazing.
Right.
So I went and did my entire neck with him, and then after that, I was like, I gotta get the top of my head. His placement is so good, like. He placed this thing and then just free-handed the rest of it on.
No shit.
It was, dude, it was like immaculate, dude, like a piece of art. I wish I had my hair shorter so I could show y'all, but
I've seen a photo. I've seen a photo of it.
Yeah, Max28 on Instagram. Amazing artist out in LA. But that's who I get. I've gotten a lot of work from him. He's the person I've been tattooed by probably the most now.
Okay.
But yeah, he's sweet. That's who I normally go to.
If you were going to give just some quick advice to an artist watching this, somebody who's like, I want to be a tattoo artist, what's that advice, man?
Start drawing. it's kind of weird. The industry has changed a lot to where people will, like, I'll have a lot of people come in. I've gotten asked for people to be an apprentice. That's actually my number one piece of advice is don't try by yourself. Don't do what I did. I'm not going to hate on anyone that does because I did it, you know, but like, don't do it because it's just dangerous. It's unnecessarily dangerous.
Well, there's a lot to learn, man.
There's a lot to learn, dude. It's hard to do it by yourself. It's easier if you have someone. And like I said earlier, like with the life lessons and stuff, like doing an apprenticeship can be very beneficial. But do it, like most likely the artists you're going to learn from or the possible mentors you might have to teach you how to tattoo are going to be old school. In that case, don't show them digital art. Like that's one thing I was just gonna say. I've had a lot of people ask me for apprenticeships, and they'll bring in their iPad, and I'm like, and I'm not even old school. You know, I'm 26. I'm not even old school, and that is an immediate turn off for me. You know, like
because you want to
I want to
see
see something
they,
physical.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to see that you're an artist. You know, most artists don't just start on the iPad unless you do. Like there's artists that are great at digital art. I'm not, you know, talking down to them, but for tattooing.
It's a whole different.
And this would never happen. But for example, say all iPads just disappeared off the face of the planet, I can still tattoo tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like I know how to do it all. I can figure it out. Even if I'm doing realistic stuff, I can find pictures. I can use them as a reference. You know, I can do anything. You know, I learned all of those ways of doing it without the iPad. I didn't have an iPad for the first like 3 years. Yeah. You know, now everyone's on the iPads and. Which is good for the profession. Honestly, I think it's
that's a technology.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything on the iPad if you're trying to get into tattooing.
Gotcha.
I would just do everything physical. Show you're an artist. Show that you want to be a tattooer. You know, and don't take, you know, no for an answer. If someone tells you no, go get better and come back. Or you know. Sometimes, dude, being persistent gets you where you want to be. You know, like I've heard stories where people were told no, so they just still came back and just started drawing in the shop, and then eventually you're in there, you know, for 2 months just drawing every day, hanging out, and then they give you a phone, be like, just answer the phone if someone calls, and then. You know, break me down, you know, go clean up my station. And then you're doing apprentice stuff. And then eventually they're like, all right, you've been around. We can teach you how to tattoo. You know, so, yeah, man, I'd just say do it like that, man. Don't, and be confident in yourself and also be picky, you know, because you don't have to learn from the first person that gives you a chance, you know.
That's true.
Obviously you want to jump on opportunity if you can, but some environments aren't great. Yeah. And sometimes apprenticeships suck, and that doesn't mean you need to quit at the first time. It's like sign of hardship, you know. But like some things, you might flourish better in a certain environment if you can find that environment. You know. So,
is there any tats that you feel are outdated? Like nobody comes in with no barbed wire no more, right?
Nah, man. You know what? I always like barbed wire. I think that's cool. I literally have barbed wire tattoo on my leg.
Right.
But, dude, actually, I think everything has a place, and I think there are tattoos that are trends. So, like, there's a trend going on right now called cyber sigilism. I'm sure any tattooer that's listening would know. It almost looks like tribal if it was done in like the year 3000 or something like that, just like real futuristic looking like ornamental type designs. I think those are kind of cool. I don't do them. I don't think I'd get it tattooed, but I do think they're neat looking. Everyone talks about those like they're gonna be a thing of the past here in like a year, and maybe they will, but I think every tattoo has a place if you like it, you know? And again, you might regret some stuff. I don't really have any tattoos I regret, but there's stuff that, like, I wish I would have waited on my legs, you know, because I do leg sleeves now, and I'm like, man, I wish I could get this. You know, like, I wish I could get a leg sleeve, but
you can go around it.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but, like, dude, there's people, like, it definitely is important to think about, you know,
later.
Yeah, think about later and think about what you're getting. Like, dude, there's people that don't even have their fashion figured out. Like, they don't even, like, you know, and they're choosing permanent artwork. You know, it's like, man,
Yeah, I heard that.
you know, that's a good thing to figure out first. You know, if you get your fashion figured out, you know what you like. You know kind of how you are.
Yeah.
Go for a tattoo. You
There
know,
it
that's
is,
permanent
man.
fashion.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, good, man. Listen, great conversation,
Yeah, man,
Josh,
absolutely,
man.
dude.
Love this. Love learning about you. Love learning about your
Thanks,
space here, man. I think, man, for anybody who's looking for a tattoo, man, come down and holler at our boy Josh. If it's not him, he'll get you connected with the right artist here. So with that, man, we're going to do this last piece with you, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enterrupt KC, People, Places, and Things, Kansas City, the D-Rod,
The number
Kansas
one.
City podcast, the Kansas City podcast.
Yes, sir.
Before I let D-Rod start on that, real quick question.
Yeah.
What is the worst intersection in Kansas City?
The worst intersection. I actually hate this one right here. I love are we talking about driving or are we
Yeah,
talking about
driving.
I hate this one. Like
Broadway
this
and
one's
Southwest
Broadway
Boulevard?
and Southwest Boulevard, bro. I get stuck here every day trying to leave the shop, and I'm just like, man, what the hell's going
It does
on?
get stupid packed, and
gets
you know,
pretty
with,
congested,
with
man.
the street parking,
Yeah.
it makes this lane.
Dude, people start parking on Broadway, like right next to the intersection. And I'm like, bro, this is like a lane, you know? Dude, that irritates me. This is the worst intersection, I think, in my experience.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm guilty, Josh. I'm definitely that car that pull. If I go to Town Topic and I'm grabbing, I call,
right up front.
I call my orders in. By the way, I never just order walk-in order. I call it in. Hey, 15 minutes, whatever. I pull right up.
Dude,
And
I
I
don't
hop
blame you,
out.
man. I do the same
We
stuff.
need to
Walk
place an
in.
order right now.
Yeah, you better get
We
ready.
have a place that order, man.
But so I'm guilty. But yeah, Broadway and Southwest Boulevard, bro.
That one's rough, man. Yeah, especially like we had construction here for a while,
Oh,
dude. and
yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah, that's
I hear that.
Yeah. Are you planning something? You're involved in the First Fridays events that go on.
Yeah,
here?
we try to have, so we don't really do a whole lot. We try to put our, in years past, we've put our anniversary event, like we do an anniversary event every year. We try to put it on First Friday in July, I think. Yeah, in July we'll do a First Friday, and we'll put it on that day. I don't think we're doing that this year. We're going to do it on the Saturday. Because actually for no reason. We've just had a hard time getting people off, like people are working, you know, so they can't really come to the event.
Right.
So we're going to try doing it on Saturdays. But yeah, for First Fridays, normally we pop the garage door open and we just kind of hang out. Like if people want to come check stuff out, they can check it out. So
Yeah.
That's dope. Cool.
All right.
You want to do?
Oh
it?
yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I was thinking about First Fridays. All right, man. People, places, things, man. You know what it is, man. I'm gonna hit you with a couple of restaurants that are over here. All right, places, man.
Let's do it.
You gonna pick versus which one you like best. All
Got
right.
it.
You can probably say a plate or not. All right. We're gonna do Manny's right down the street here. Manny's Mexican restaurant versus Margaritas.
Manny's, 100%. I like
Yeah.
Manny's.
Manny?
Yeah, I'm big on Manny's. I used to go there all the time when I used to come down here. Like my dentist was down here. My mom would take me to the dentist. We go to
Yeah.
Manny's every single time. So
Yeah.
that one kind of has like a soft spot. For me. I have a soft spot. For that, but
Another restaurant, Town Topic, because of right here, or Westport Flea Market.
Okay. Oh shoot. Okay. So dude, I haven't mentioned this. I have a lot of food allergies, so I can't even eat them anymore. I've been to Westport Flea Market one time.
Really?
Like only one time. I went there with my
Why
mentor.
can't you eat there?
I have a gluten allergy, man. So I can't have the
okay.
buns and stuff, and I can't have like the fries, or I can't have really any fried food and stuff.
Got you.
Sucks. But before I even knew about it, like, because I found out about my gluten allergy when I was 23, so I've eaten all these places. Town Topic, dude, is the best.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get around it, dude. Town
Yeah.
Topic, dude, I used to go there all the time when I
We
was an
did,
apprentice,
too.
dude. Yeah, so fire.
We used
bro.
to call
Get
it
the
Round
tots.
Ropic.
Dude,
Round
get the milkshakes, bro. Underrated
Yes.
milkshakes.
Oh,
Fire.
man, I'm
fire.
gonna get one with
Strawberry.
you.
Get the strawberry one. That one's fire.
No doubt.
Me too.
All right,
Shoot,
I'm gonna
dude, I
pick
might
a.
go over there.
We're
Get one.
gonna have Jack calling in. Call in, Jack. All right, I'm gonna pick a place, man. A couple places,
Let's hear
okay? Which ones you go to? Grinders venue versus Knuckleheads.
You know what? I like Grinders. I like Grinders, especially with the food at Grinders. The food at Grinders is so good, and I like that area over there. Super cool area. I'm big on Grinders. Yeah. Okay. Knuckleheads, I've been to Knuckleheads like once, and it was a long time ago. Yeah. And I really haven't been back. So okay. That's probably not a good question for me. But
no,
Grinders,
good,
I like.
Man.
I like
Grinders.
Grinders.
Grinders is dope, man.
Yeah.
What about just spots in the city, man? So let's do Crossroads versus Westport.
Crossroads. Okay, so I used to be over in Westport. I'm not a big like partier at all. I never have been. I don't drink. I don't like do anything. I don't smoke. I don't take drugs. I don't do anything. So like going to Westport at night was never really my thing. Westport, the area, really cool. I actually like a lot of the stuff over there. But Crossroads, again, soft spot, dude. When I'm over here, you know. And I think too, the Crossroads just have like a cool energy, I think, to the whole thing, especially the first Fridays.
It's evolved, man.
Yeah, man, dude, it's real crazy. They've really been kind of blowing up. They've gotten a lot of cool stuff over here.
Yeah. Dope.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with a three-peat, man. Pick which one you'll go to. Okay, the Irish Fest, the Italian Fest, or Fiesta Hispana. You go to any of those places?
I haven't been to any of those. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Which one should I go to? You tell me.
Well, we'll probably be.
Fiesta Hispana.
We'll probably be at the Fiesta
When is that?
Hispana.
When is that? I'm gonna write that down.
September.
Right now. September?
Yeah, but you can come check us out up here in Guadalupe Center.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll be here right down the street.
The weekend of Cinco de Mayo.
Sweet.
Come hang out.
Come hang out, man.
Guadalupe Center, you said?
Yeah, it's right here on 23rd and Bellevue.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's
I got
right
you.
here.
Yeah.
I'll
it's
come
right
check
here.
it out for sure.
All right, fun one. Let's do I-35 or I-70.
Dude, you know what? It's just happened to work out that I've been on I-70, but like only when I'm traveling. Like if I'm traveling, like I used to drive I-35 every single day, dude.
Yeah.
Like in DeSoto, that's the thing you drive over here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I-35 I like. I-70 is, I've never really navigated it a whole lot. So I'd say I-35.
It's crazy,
for sure.
man, because I don't. Sorry. I don't think people realize how many major cities I-35 goes through.
Dude, I know. It's
Stupid.
crazy. Yeah.
All the way up to Minnesota, all the way down to Texas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It just 35 cuts through.
Is
big
that's the
cities.
one that goes through like Des Moines and everything, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Des Moines,
yeah.
Minneapolis.
Yeah, because you go up that, because I had family in Chicago, so we'd go up that way and then go straight from
I-80.
all the way to Chicago.
Yeah.
So,
All right, I got one more question. Then JL got one. Oh, he got probably
I got
a
one
couple more. All right. Of course, man. People, places, things, man. Josh, what thing do you feel best represents Kansas City?
what thing? What do you mean by what thing?
Something, man. What's Kansas City's thing?
Dude, man, you know what? I always say Tech 9 and Patrick Mahomes.
Let's go.
those are my two.
Let's go.
Yo, Bobby Witt, man, he's creeping his way in, but I'm a Billy Butler guy. But
Hey, shout out
Billy
Billy
Butler.
Butler.
yeah, Billy Butler. Shout out Billy Butler. But Patrick Mahomes and Tech 9, man, those are my.
Yes,
I always say
sir.
those are like our two things that are cool.
Yes, sir.
The Chiefs, though, dude. I would say in general, the Chiefs, man.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are. I watched every game.
Big
when we
Chiefs
were 2 and
fan?
14, bro. Yeah.
You
the
go out
Chiefs
there
are-
tailgating?
Dude, you know what's crazy? Now I'm gonna look like a fraud. I've never even been to a Chiefs game. I'm just
Come on, man. Let's roll, man. Let's go.
Dude, we ought to go out there, man.
That
But,
actually means you're probably a real Chiefs fan.
I've been to so many preseason games, but I've never been to a regular season one. And honestly, I'm just not a big I don't like crowds
Crowd
like that.
people.
You know, like I'm just not a big crowds guy. I really like Royals games, but I've never been to a Chiefs game. Yeah,
I mean-
and I had the opportunity to go to a AFC Championship, but they only had 2 tickets, so I let my little brother
Yeah.
go. But yeah.
Tell us you're from Kansas City without telling us you're from Kansas City.
Shoot, man. Let me think. I don't know if this is like Kansas City, but Ropo. The Ropo skate park.
Yeah.
That was like a frequent.
Roland Park.
Yeah, Roland Park, man.
Ropo,
Ropo.
Hey, shout out
yeah,
Ropo.
I used to go out there and skate all the time when I was
That was like a gang, I thought, man.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. Actually,
Didn't some
I
kid
was
get
never,
killed up
yeah,
there for?
dude. Yeah, it was kind of crazy, but my mentor Adam Loomis has literally Ropo family tattooed across his stomach.
Wow.
I never really ran with all those dudes. I just would show up at skate. Like I was just like a skateboarder. I quit skating when I was like 18, but yeah, I would just go to the park and skate. But that was like a niche thing that I always remember. A lot of the same people around Ropo. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
Right on. Hey, Josh, man. Cool, man. Cool. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Man, thank you
I
for your
appreciate you.
time, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sitting down with us, man.
Yes,
That was
sir.
fucking phenomenal, bro.
Yeah, man.
Is there anything, man, you'd like to share with our audience, man? Something we didn't touch on, something you want to share?
You know what, dude? I think we got a lot of it. Kansas City Tattoo Club will be the best. And I think we're already there, but we will be the greatest shop in Kansas City.
Let's go.
I'll tell you
There
that
it
right
is,
now.
man.
So we'll be there.
Straight from the horse's
Yeah.
mouth, everybody.
Don't
Yes,
forget.
sir.
Come see our boy, man,
Josh,
Josh
man.
Forshey. Hey, right here, Southwest Boulevard. What's the address again?
321 Southwest
321
Boulevard.
Southwest
Yeah.
Boulevard. Come check out our boy Josh.
KCTC,
You already
KCTC,
know what
man.
it is, everybody. Enterrupt KC, JL.
D-Rod.
Like, follow, share, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Show that support. We are out of here, everybody. Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.